If you're watching this video, it's likely because you're trying to learn English. And that is a very daunting task. It's a very scary task to undertake. And it can be very overwhelming when you're starting out or if you're in the middle of your journey. There's so much to learn and there's so many mistakes you might make. And it's very easy to give up, to quit, to stop altogether because you might realize that it's just too much work and it's stressing you out more than it's helping you. Well, I want to tell you that all those feelings are normal to have. It's okay to be overwhelmed, to be stressed out, to be frustrated. Being frustrated when learning a language is one of the most common experiences people have. So you're not alone in that. Everyone experiences it, but I know how difficult it is when you're trying so hard, but you seem to not be making any progress. One of the things that can help you and that I recommend is focusing on comprehensible input. What is comprehensible input? Well, comprehensible input is watching videos, watching TV, watching movies, consuming content from people in your target language, the target language being the language you want to learn, right? So for you, it's English. Watching videos in your target language that are a little bit harder than what you're able to understand. So for example, watching a video that maybe you understand 80% of what the person is saying, or maybe 75% or 90%, but there's about 20 to 30% or maybe 15% of the words that you're not understanding at all. So essentially, you can kind of think of it like going to the gym and working out. You're not just going to do the weights that you always have been able to do. If you always use a 10-pound dumbbell to do arm workouts and it's easy for you, you don't want to do that every time because you're not going to make progress. Maybe you want to move up to 12 pounds or 15 pounds. And maybe towards the end of your repetition with that new 15-pound weight, you find that you can't lift it and it's too heavy and you fail. But that actually looks like failure in the beginning. But a week later, when you come back to lift that 15 pounds, you might actually be able to finish the repetition completely because your muscle was growing and expanding over that week. It's the same concept when you're learning a language, when you're learning English. If you approach a level of English, a level of, let's say, a movie or a TV show or a YouTube video like this video, and the words are so easy for you to understand and the level is so basic for you that you understand almost 100% of what is being said, well, at that point, you might not really be learning that much. At least you're reinforcing what you already know, and maybe you're kind of watching the content for educational or entertainment purposes, but you're not really challenging yourself to learn new stuff. So you can, when you're trying to conceptualize what comprehensible input is, you can think of it like the gym example. You want to lift a weight that's a little bit maybe too heavy for you toward the end of the repetition. Maybe you can do like 8 or 9, but then in the 10th, 11th, 12th, it's too hard. You want to approach the same thing when you're learning languages. So seek out content, seek out movies, TV shows that maybe you only understand about 80% of what is being said, and have a notebook with you. Take notes, start to recognize those patterns. You'll hear the same words over and over because in English, we use about 2,000 to 3,000 words that make up like 80% of everything we say. It's very similar in most languages as well. We repeat a lot of words. So focus on learning those words that you don't know, but not just the ones that you don't know, the ones that you hear over and over. If you hear the word, let's say, for example, elegant, for example, it's an adjective. It means kind of fancy, kind of well put together. Someone is elegant. Maybe they look very nice in their nice clothes, very elegant. If you hear that word once, maybe it's not worth learning right away. But if you hear it 2 times, 3 times, you're watching different videos, you're watching TV, you're watching movies, you're hearing it 5, 6, 7 times, that is going to tell you that that's a word that's used often enough that it's worth learning. So take a note, write out the definition, and little by little, focusing on your comprehensible input by watching things that you understand 80% of, you're going to realize your level of understanding will slowly start rising, I should say, just will slowly start rising up. And you're going to find that in a few months, you're going to be at a higher level of English than you ever thought was possible. And what's great about this concept of comprehensible input is it's limitless. It keeps going. As you get to a higher level, you can keep pushing the boundary of of the content you're consuming, and start looking into more difficult subjects, more difficult things, and you're going to be speaking like a native speaker in no time. So if you want to focus on comprehensible input, my YouTube channel is all about that. I make videos in English. I speak clearly, but I don't use only simple language. I talk how I normally would talk. I don't edit myself. And I have these subtitles here that will help you as well, because sometimes you hear a word, but in English you might not know how it's spelled because our spelling is very weird. It doesn't always match up with our pronunciation. So subscribe to my YouTube channel if you find this useful. I post videos every day where you can practice your comprehensible input. And thanks for watching.